It's time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solutions show. This show is sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation and produced by Global Entertainment. It features psychodrama, stand-up philosophy, anthropology, biology, psychology, and more. It's presented through a genre called edutainment, created or coined by KRS-One and passed on to Global Entertainment, meaning educate while you entertain. Presented through produce and created music by the Hip Hop Trio Plus. Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, Michelle Kendall, Kenya Kendall, and myself. The hosts of this wonderful show are Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RNMD Met D1, and myself, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED PhD Met D2. Now, I have the PH and he has the
M.
We both have D's, y'all. That makes us Doc². The title of today's show is, Are You Healthy?
Good question. Are you healthy? We're going to get into that in just a second. But before we do that, we just want to let y'all know all the stuff that we're wearing from now until the foreseeable future is going to be our merchandise. Sweaters, shirts, hats, stuff like that y'all can buy, one of a kind. There ain't none like any others. Y'all going to be watching us. Peep it out. Now, back to Are You Healthy? 2006, February, Journal of the Public Health Association, the American Public Health Association. They had an article published as a commentary by Dr. Lester Breslau, MD, PhD of UCLA School of Medicine. Dr. Breslau stated that he wanted a definition and a measurement of health in our society. Dr. Breslau states that our culture has many ways to measure disease, but no way to objectively measure or even define what health is. Think about that. His article goes on to describe the changes in the definition of what health should be from 1948's positive notion of physical, mental, and social well-being. That was the definition for health in 48, right after World War II, to 1986's World Health Organization's Ottawa Charter description of health as a resource for everyday living. Let me look at that again. A resource for everyday life. Huh. One more time, y'all. A resource for everyday life. Excuse me. My shoes are a resource for everyday life. My toilet is a resource for everyday life. My car, everything I use is a resource for everyday life. And that makes it different from health. How? Okay, in the article, the physical and laboratory measurements that have been used to document disease and illness were reviewed. Then the author makes a request for a greater understanding and a fine-tuning of the parameters to develop and investigate those measurements that can be used to set health standards. Now, I wrote a response to Dr. Breslau's letter, and that is the basis of this article that was published in the African American Lifestyle magazine in January of 2009, about 13 years ago. And it, believe it or not, was the basis by which I was nominated for this $10 million prize in innovation called the X Prize. Now,
I stated that I believe that all definitions of health should start from the recognition that we are basically spiritual beings of physical and mental manifestation. I have debated with others who say we are physical beings with spiritual and mental manifestation, but whatever this consideration, it is more than abundantly clear that people are composed of three parts, and the literature expounding each part as an essential portion of every healthy human
would stretch into infinity ad nauseam. We are all composed of a body, a mind, and that thing that powers everything called a spirit.
Let us not waste any time in wondering why this essential third of our humanity is seldom, if ever, mentioned by the people running our health care system. A real triple play when you are not sure of your own spirituality. Religious people get confused and offended. And you are taught in med school and residency to treat disease and illness
and not worry about people's health or spirit.
Personally, I got a whole bunch of
both didactic or scientific questions and coupled with a slew of personal experiences and observations that make what I just told you not only not healthy, but not logical or reasonable.
Okay. I'm going to cut to the chase and say that after
our country decided through the Meese Commission to investigate our, quote, healthcare system, I got rather discouraged. Because as I stated before, if you can afford to get a job and the premiums that are necessary for your, quote, health insurance that usually comes with employment,
you'll get an appointment and time off to keep the appointment.
And if the physician doesn't have an emergency
or get backed up,
you will be allotted approximately 2 minutes with the nurse, 12 to 15 minutes wait time, and approximately 6 minutes with the physician.
You are considered by your name and your policy number, but you are treated
as a disease or illness. Everybody in our, quote, health care system is treated as a disease or illness or other condition that needs to be addressed. It has nothing whatsoever to do with you being healthy.
Okay. This is not just a problem with how nursing, medicine, and allied health teach healing modalities, though each student is taught to define interactions between health seekers
by the diagnosis or disease that they are investigation of,
not by any level or
lack of health.
No, it is made more pervasive by medicine itself. It is fragmented into enclaves of tighter and tighter specialization.
We separate space in our facilities according to the diagnosis. Go down to the orthopedic room, go down to the ENT section, or go be seen in the OBGYN, or go be seen over in surgery. We diagnose, we separate, we treat, not cure, not prevent. We treat according to what illness or disease
you got. And all of this is kind of tied up with billing, because in order to bill for charges according to your health care system, you are billed according to what's called DRGs. That's diagnostically related groups. Diagnostically related groups are what you came to see the doctor for. And it is broken down along the lines of disease organs. Which of your organs are you here to get a checkup on the disease status of? Again, has nothing whatsoever to do with health. Almost all of the focus of our present system is on disease. As already admitted, we don't even know what health is. And that's what Dr. Breeslau was writing to the American Public Health Association to ask him about. What is our definition of our health system for health? When I read Dr. Breeslau's letter, I asked myself, he's kind of correct. Why is that? Why is it a strictly financial / economic decision? So more of these physicians will be able to make money? I don't know. But one of the most telling statistics that represent the present peril to our health is the percentage of medical school students who plan to go into primary care medicine. You see, primary care medicine, that includes family practice, internal medicine, general practice. That's the only specialties that you're going to be learning how to prevent disease and health educate your patients, your clients, or whatever name you place on those you serve. According to CNN reports, the percentage of medical school students planning to specialize in primary care medicine is 2%. That means 98% of the doctors you see will have little to no training in disease prevention, health improvement, or keeping you in a state of good, let's just say, stable living. I ask again, why is that only 2% of folks want to go into primary care? Well, you see, when you come out of medical school, generally, you got a whole bunch of something called debt. You got about $500,000 to $1.5 million worth of debt. And the quicker you pay that off, the quicker your life starts to be lived a whole lot freer. So most physicians, when they go into medical school, start thinking about coming out with all of that debt. Because you see, the physician disease specialty that pays the least is primary care medicine. The one in which you stop people from getting disease, the one in which you teach people to be, quote, healthy, pays the least. And since most people who want to go to medical school think they're pretty smart, they don't think they're at the bottom of the totem pole anywhere, why should they take the least amount of money? And 98% of all medical school students think like I just told you. Only 2% want to be in the part of medicine in which your health is in any ways optimized. All the rest of medicine is not about health. It's about disease. Okay. I would like to propose, instead of our present system that ignores a third of your existence, your spirit, it primarily, in medical school, in books, in practice, nurses, and I'm an RN in addition to being an MD, physicians, and all allied health are taught to pertain almost all of their time, attention, and effort to what's wrong with your body. A very small percentage of them are concerned with what's going on in your mind. And very, 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 almost none are concerned with what your spirit is about.
Mm-hmm. Y'all know.
Now, I would like to pose, again, instead of our present system that ignores a third of your existence, your spirit, and pays more for treatment of disease than prevention of illness, a system that recognizes the totality, I should say, of humanity and puts its money, prestige, and money, I did not misspeak myself, in prevention and educating each person as to what they are, who they are, where they are, and when they are. Now, a word to those who would attempt to bring religion into this discussion. Now, I am not a priest. I'm not a pastor. I am a scientist. I hold no view on preference on the organized worship of spirituality. That is the realm of the theologist and priest. What I suggest is a discussion and realization that without some acknowledgement of the purpose and use of the spiritual nature of all humanity, our health will never be realized. Now, when I wrote this up, as I'm writing this, I'm thinking about this. And I'm thinking, don't people realize that nobody's healthy, quote unquote? Don't they understand that the system is not at all about health? And though we call it a health system, it's actually about disease. And they keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And then it came to me through the understandings of a personal encounter that human beings can do the same thing over and over again and not simply learn from the experience at all. When we started taking away fathers from Alkebulanese families through prison industrial context is a big one, but through social impressing on Alkebulanese females. I don't need a man. The government will pay me for every child that I make. But also for not appreciating that male role.
Yeah.
And not appreciating it, again, just like the healthcare system, over and over and over again.
Ashe.
Now, remember Global Records? Way back in the day, it was a boy that I kind of helped raise a little bit. His name was Miles Alexander Keaton Smith, known as Humble G. The Fiddler. He did a song way back when about this same mechanism in humanity, doing the same thing and not learning from the experience over and over. And that is passed down from generation to generation to generation. He really made it personal and he really made it understandable when he made this song called Over and Over.
Yeah. Now this next topic is a topic we've been dealing with over.
Check me out.
And over again.
Look, now I would be lying if I said I couldn't feel what you was going through. See, sisters do it everywhere, they gotta feel it too. Be looking for love in all the wrong places. Single family homes but no father replacements. He said he loved you, then he depart you. Got his quick nut and left and never called you. Now you stuck in the hood with 2 sons and 1 daughter. Now you wishing death on them just like karma. Yeah, I know you feeling down, slipped up and got pregnant again. You going on your 4th child. It's more welfare and more Section 8, busting your butt off just to put food on their plate. Now you living in the projects with real bad kids. See, a brother's not taking in kids, it's not his. Your baby daddy, I know you despise him, but will your son grow up to turn out just like him?
It's like we all grow up without fathers. Well, at least where I'm from. Wonder what he doing, or what we do. We get out in this world, have a little fun and do the same thing. I really think it's time. Matter of fact, I know it's time to bring this change. But before that, next generation.
Look, yo, deja vu and baby mama drama calling your crib. And guess what? It's not of your doing. One of your sons, he slipped up, he got her pregnant. Just like his father, he's heading the same direction. Damn, now you all outspoken, another generation, yet the chain is still not broken. When he grew up, neglected, it damn near killed him. He turns around and does the same to his children. His baby mama wanna break his neck. Child support, he's pissed when he looks at his check. Quits his job and does under the table work. Now he know what it feels like inside when it hurts not knowing the facts. If his shorty is eating, now he's somewhere spirit broken, feeling defeated, but still wants to give the mama all of the blame. Not knowing why, deep inside he feels this guilt and this shame. How this goes all the way back to when we were slaves. They used to breed and strip us for my seeds every day. I gotta ask, it's time to hack this vicious chain. There's another reason why you feel the guilt and the shame, cause you grew up the same way with hope and faith. I know when one day you'll be a man in a disgrace to your mama, your grandmama, your great-grandmama, and all the neglected children in the same trauma. Holla.
Yo, shout out to all the single mothers out there getting theirs, doing for their children. Just to let you know, keep doing your part. And to all the fathers out there, I ain't targeting you. Hopefully you listen to this song. I hope I ain't talking about you. And change your ways. We live in foul over and over.
Over and over. Humble G, the Fitla. Produced by Global Entertainment.
Yes. We're learning, but learning means that you don't do the same thing over and over. Our, quote, healthcare system, unquote, hasn't learned that yet. They're still experiencing.
Over and over.
It is said that the body respires. That means breathes. The mind inquires. That means questions. And the spirit inspires, gives inspiration. Health, then, could be considered to be an optional functioning of all 3 components of humanity working in harmony to provide the resources for everyday life, which the World Health Organization said that health was. Okay, I would like to insert a new definition and a new basis for the establishment of the concept of health. This basis for establishment is rooted in the concept of the trivalent understanding. Trivalent, of course, means 3-powered, which I will explain shortly as soon as we establish some common definitions of terms to be used throughout this article. Now, again, I wrote this article 13 years ago, and most of the common definitions we've already gone over. Basically, knowing. Knowing is emotional, spiritual, done in the part of your brain called the limbic system, and knowing, because it's emotional, spiritual, you feel it. Understanding is intellectual. It happens in the cerebral hemisphere. That's the surface of your brain. And understanding is about thinking. It's not about feeling, it's about thoughts. The importance to differentiate between these two things is because most human beings are not going to do what they understand. They're going to do what they know. They're going to do what they feel, not what they think. And you ask anybody why they do anything, they will tell you, well, I felt such and such, or I had a feeling about this and so. It's what they know, not what they understand. Last but not least is the concept of learning. Learning is understanding in action. In order to learn something, you first understand it, and then you practice that understanding until it becomes part of you. That is how you have learned your ABCs, your timetables, your name and address, everything. Through the process of first understanding and then practicing that understanding until it becomes a part of you. Now that we have those definitions, we can discuss the trivalent understanding noetics.
Hey, Doc.
Noetic,
Hey, before we do that, I want to say that everybody who wants to call in, the number is scrolling on the screen right now.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be taking calls shortly. Just call in anytime right now. You can call in right now, and you'll be prompted to hold until we take calls. Yeah. And also want to shout out, we got a couple people over in Messenger.
Michelle Kendall. All right.
Wonder when I can collectively can change. It starts with us individually. Yes.
11 Novelle. That's 11 backwards, actually. 11,
yes, it
11.
Is. Oh. It is 11 backwards.
She said, what did she say, Doc?
Wonder when it will collectively change. That should be a question mark. Or maybe that's a statement. Wonder when it will collectively change. It starts with us individually. Excuse me. Let me get a little bit deeper than that, y'all.
That's right.
Individually. In, not divvy, separated, dually, twice. An unseparated duality. Once we understand and learn those things about ourselves, we will be the change we seek.
Yes.
Doc, we got Rob Gillespie.
Rob Gillespie say Humble G is great.
It's great.
Yeah,
well,
thanks,
cool.
Rob.
Oh.
What's up, Rob? I know Rob. Me and Rob do some business in the real estate business. Okay. He's a great guy, and I hope he calls in because we always talking about some deep stuff. So he's an excellent guy to call.
Let us get deep with Rob. That's a wonderful thing.
And I think Afropeans was in that song as well.
He's somewhere along the line.
Okay, so
we were helping put that thing together.
Afripeans, help create it.
Yes.
Create and produce it. Yes.
Create and produce. Okay, call us in the next 5 minutes, and we'll see what we can do.
Yes, 1-0-1-602-610-2060, and then put in 951-438.
Okie doke. I would like to insert again a new basis for health, a new basis for the definition of health, a new basis for the concept of health from the trivalent understanding noetics. Again, noetic science. I am a member of the Institute of Noetic Science, or was last time I paid my dues. Noetic science is the science of faith, belief, and intention. It is not religious. It is the basis on which all religions are founded. How does your will work? How does your faith function? How do you make what you intend your reality? That's what we're about. Now that we have those definitions, we can discuss understanding.
Now, before we go any further, since we got the definitions, let's try to get a caller in. Is anybody there?
We got a caller.
And if you are, give us your name. And then give us your question.
Come on, questioner.
All right. Well, you're going to give you a little bit more time.
Who we got calling? What's their name? It's not showing on there?
All right.
Okay, caller, if you're there, we got you online here.
Talk at us.
Please give us a word while we're waiting on that.
All right,
go ahead, Doc.
Okay, I'm going to continue till we get callers to talk. Ha-ha! Okay, most people know that they They are composed of 3 different parts. Again, knowing and understanding. You know that you are made up of a portion of you that's material called your body, a portion of you that is immaterial called your spirit, and a portion of you that is partially material and partially immaterial called your mind. Hey, hey, hey.
Now, almost none of these people understand what those parts are, how they function, what are their properties, and most importantly, how they
Coordinate the functioning of our living.
Let me add at this point that when I say spirit, I'm not talking about religion. That's the organized structure of spiritual worship, but rather the part of all human beings from which they derive the bulk of their abilities to transcend their environment.
And the ability of human beings to transcend their environment, I posit, is the very hallmark of all humanity.
Now, the trivalent understanding, noetic, seeks to inform and teach individuals about the operation of themselves that they know but do not understand. As an example, we will now discuss the operations
Of your trivalency. All right. We're going to start out real simple, the part that you know the most about, your body. Your body is described trivalently as consciousness manifested as material. That is your body. Consciousness manifested
as material.
It has 2 different connections. Your body has an upward connection and a downward connection. Your upward connection
And a downward thing.
Yeah. Your upward or inward connection is with the mind. Your body connects inwardly or upwardly with your mind. It connects outwardly or downwardly with the environment. This allows you to interact with the world around you. The interaction of your body and your mind informs the mind what the world outside your body is like. And that is the purpose for you having a body. Woo, 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 woo. Your mind. Your mind is the vehicle that allows your spirit to experience this reality. Again, your mind is the vehicle that allows your spirit to experience this reality. It has connections also, upward and downward, or outward and inward. Your outward or upward connection of, your outward or downward connection of your mind is with your body. Communicates with the body outward or downward. Of course, your mind communicates with your spirit upward or inward. It has specific functions when it communicates with the spirit. We're going to take a caller
All
before
right,
we
ma'am.
tell you the abilities of your mind.
All right, caller.
Hello, caller.
Name?
Tell us your name.
Hello.
Yes,
Greetings. Your name?
How y'all doing?
We're doing
Shelly K.
action.
All right, Shelly K on
Miss
the
Shelly
line,
K.
y'all. One of the members of the Hip
Hi.
Hop Trio Plus,
Yeah. Ha ha.
a teacher of the Trivalent Understanding.
Yes, Shelly K.
Hey,
You got a question?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. If you do, please give it to us.
Yeah, perfect intro to it too. While you're talking about mind, body, and spirit,
There we go.
my question is about sleep paralysis, the state of sleep paralysis. So, my question basically is, what exactly is the state of being in sleep paralysis, and its function, and also how trivalency can help deal with that state?
Okay. Sleep paralysis, also called hypnagogic hallucinations, occur when you are leaving a state of sleep. It usually occurs as your mind goes from the unconscious to the conscious state before your body gets that signal that that's what your mind's doing. Your mind goes from a unconscious to a conscious state, but your body is still in the same, I guess, neutral position that it is when you are unconscious. And as everybody knows, when you are unconscious, you can't move your body. Generally, unconscious people can't do a thing with their body. That's the situation with sleep paralysis. You are consciously aware that you are where you are, but your body is not connected to that consciousness. It still thinks you are unconscious.
Wow.
And that paralysis can last for just a few seconds or upwards of 10 minutes. Generally, it's something that people experience periodically, and they recover from it. One of the things that unfortunately gets into the etiology or cause of this phenomena is increased stress, increased anxiety, lack of rest. Again, rest is relaxed sleep. Sleep is not rest. You can sleep for 6 years and not rest for a minute. When you are rest broken, this phenomena occurs. Now, your question about treating. I would much rather prevent it, of course, and prevention means you don't get rest broken and you don't let stress and anxiety overwhelm you. And we got lots and lots and lots of things, the trivalent understanding noetics that does that. The affirmations of the wounded soul is one of the best to get rid of stresses and anxieties. But we have specific tools to help you to rest. But once you are in this condition, one of the things that may assist you in leaving that state is to focus on your individual body parts. Focusing on your individual body parts means that you focus on a toe or foot or a finger or a hand or even an eyelid, and you visualize that portion of your body moving, lifting, going through the processes by which you function, kind of jump starts or gives a kick to those processes. It's like choking an engine. When you choke an engine, you're actually throwing gas in there, in the carburetor. That's sort of like what you're doing when you visualize one part of you functioning. You're taking your spirit and you're making it go through your mind, and it's supposed to power and direct your body. That's the way human beings function, and starting that functioning is one way to remind your body that's what it's supposed to do.
Wow.
Okay, does that answer your question, ma'am?
Oh yes, definitely. And just something quick is because my family and I, we've been watching some videos, and one of them came across with sleep paralysis, and it brought me back to the first time I tried ashwagandha. And I remember it so clear that I was laying in my room, and I was in a state where I woke up and I knew I was experiencing sleep paralysis. And since ashwagandha had calmed me down from when I would normally be in a panic state when I'm in sleep paralysis, I was talking to myself. I said, oh, wow, okay, why don't you just move? Just move. It's all in your head. Just move. And then I literally snapped out of it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So when you explained that to me, I was like, so that's what was happening. I was like, okay, that's really cool. But yes, that answered my question.
Well, thank you so much for your
very,
question.
very much. We
May
appreciate
the Lord
it.
bless you and the ancestors
Continue
continue
to
to protect
protect
you,
you.
Shelley. Thank you.
Peace.
Same to you.
Okay, to everybody who don't know, peace. Proper education always
corrects error.
That is. Now, we were giving you the second part of your trivalency, your mind. We had told you that it has outward connections to your body and inward connections or upward connection to your spirit. A partial listing of the functioning of your mind. Your mind understands, it ranks, it protects, it interprets, it compares, it considers, it associates, it evaluates, it judges, and it coordinates. Those are just some of the functions that your mind performs. And last we get to your spirit. Your spirit is a portion of your humanity that allows you to transcend your environment. Your spirit is the portion of your humanity that allows you to transcend, to go beyond your environment where you are. Your spirit has two connections, outward to the mind, and it allows your mind to think about things that may or may not exist in this environment. It has an inward connection to your higher power, and it allows forces and principles of your higher power to be manifested in this reality. That's what your spirit pretty much does.
Hey, Doc, we got another caller.
Let's, by all means, get a question.
We got another
Somebody
caller,
needs to ask Doc
audience.
something.
So, what's your name and your question?
Hello, I think this is Terrence. Is your name Terrence?
Hello, caller.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, so give us your name again.
My brother?
Terrence.
Terrence.
Okay, Terrence.
All
What's your
right.
question? Think we
What
got
do you
it.
think about death?
Okay.
What do I think about death?
Alrighty.
Okay. Okay. Terrence, I'm a musician. Hold on, you gotta listen. Listening means you make pictures out of the words that are coming out my mouth, as opposed to hearing. I'm gonna take you around and bring you through to the answer to your question. I'm a musician. And one of my favorite musicians was a guy by the name of Elton John, until he made a hit song from a Disney movie called The Circle of Life. Now, life is not a circle, because everything that is in life ends up being out of life at the point at which it is no longer alive. So circle and life are mutually incompatible. Now, I am an Akan. Akan is a group of Alkebulanese. That's what most people call Africans. There is no place called Africa. The continent that my ancestors come from was called Alkebulan. I am Alkebulanese. The Akan in Ghana on a mountain called Larte initiated me into the Akan cosmological view, and I went through a rites of passage that allowed me to be indoctrinated and inducted as Abrafo Kweku Amwa. Abrafo is my title. It means that I am a master of life and death. Kwaku is my cosmic name. It means the bringer of the sweet message that is good to hear, he who brings success to others. And Amwa is simply my last name. It means the generous. Okay. I'm telling you all of that because the Akan explained that the place that we come from is a place called Y.O.U. And it's the place where all life comes from. And in order to leave there and come here, I had to talk to the Most High and the ancestors and convince them both that I have a purpose to come into this life. I need a purpose that's in line with what my ancestors' purpose has always been. And I need a purpose that the Most High feels will either amplify or focus on an aspect of the Most High that needs to be focused on. We come into this reality called life to do that. Once we leave this reality called life, we go back to Y.O.U. And that is where we stay until we decide to come back into life again. Or there is a need for us to be alive for a purpose that focuses on an aspect of the Most High. So life is not a circle. Life is an ellipse. Life is his part, and then this part is a Y.O.U. And then you go back into life. And then you go back into a Y.O.U. And then you go back into life. And then you go back into a Y.O.U. It is the symbol for infinity. It is what we call a meta-human being. When you not only understand what I just told you, but it has become part of you and you live that. You have learned your entirety of being, not just a life, and you recognize that even after your life is over, you will still be existing in that part that the Khan called a Y.O.U. Now, Terrence, did that explain how I feel about death?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, my brother.
Terrence, where are you from? Okay, he's gone.
He's
forgot to
gone?
ask him
Okay.
where he was from.
All right. We,
I think he's from Texas.
he's from Texas.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, we got some folks in Texas. Well, we got some folks everywhere. So, hey, he could have said Spain. We got folks there. Germany, England. We got folks there. My nephew was just visiting his brother because his brother had a child. My nephew lives in Germany, near Mannheim, and his brother lives right outside London.
Yeah.
So they was over there for a week.
Yeah, they experienced the severe weather. They can bear
Yeah.
witness to what's going on.
Oh,
over
yeah.
there.
All of Europe is dying from heat stroke,
Yeah.
and they're just having a good time. It's 90.
We got a couple people that sent us a message here. This one right here.
Okay.
Studying
Shirley
health now.
Edmond.
Shirley Edmonds, I am studying health now through a discipleship program. It is very good. Shirley, what's the name of that program? I would really, please somebody ask her what's the name of the program.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good program.
Yep.
We
What?
want to thank Evelyn. I don't
Tamika
remember
Barnes,
if we
wait a
thanked
minute,
her
hold
or
on.
not.
Hold on.
What are
Tamika
dreams?
Barnes got a reply and she says,
Not a reply,
comment.
question.
She says, what are dreams?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to reply to Tamika Barnes. All right. Let me explain it to you like this.
In reference to health, since
Tamika Barnes, Tate, to be
you-
exact.
Oh, that is what it says. Tamika Barnes, long dash, Tate. Thank you very much.
oh yes, that's right. You got to see that right now.
Yes, got to see it right. Got to say it right.
Barnes
Hey,
Tate. All right now.
there it is. Thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate it. What are dreams?
Yeah.
Let me go through this. Tamika Barnes, Tate. You wake up in the morning and you get up out of bed. You go to the toilet, wash your face, brush your teeth, and you decide you want some Frosted Flakes. You like Frosted Flakes, so you go to the cabinet and you pull out a box of Frosted Flakes, you pour it in a bowl, you go to the refrigerator, you open the refrigerator, you reach in there and grab the carton of milk, it's just about empty. You are a little upset, but you had to say that's all right. I want my damn Frosted Flakes, so I'm going to walk down to the corner store and get some milk. You walk down to the corner store. On your way down to the corner store, you meet Aunt Suki. She's your aunt, and she tells you that her husband, Uncle Joe, is sick with the flu. They live around the corner. You see them regular. So you spend just a couple of minutes talking to her, saying hi and bye. You go on into the store, get your milk, come home, and eat your Frosted Flakes. You go all the way through your day. You come in that evening, you eat your supper, you watch a little television, you go to sleep. You go through the 3 preliminary stages of sleep, and you get to stage 3 sleep, which is called REM, or rapid eye movement sleep, and you start to dream. In order to dream, your unconscious mind now takes control of your being. As I talked to the previous questioner about hypnopompic hallucinations or sleep paralysis, your conscious mind now goes away, and your unconscious mind comes on board. Your unconscious mind says, all right, what did you do today? Well, you got up, you went to the toilet, you wash your face, those are everyday things. We don't need to worry about that, so we'll just put that in the not to worry about file. Okay. You went on about your morning, and you wanted your Frosted Flakes. Right, that's important to you. So we're going to file that under morning. We're going to file that under breakfast. We're going to file that under food. We're going to file that under cereal. Oh, but wait a minute. You didn't have no damn milk for your Frosted Flakes. So that's really important because you like your Frosted Flakes. They are great. So that's necessary to be filed under important. That's necessary to be filed under milk, breakfast, mornings, Frosted Flakes, and anything else that you can associate with that event, so that you have all these different ways to remember that. On your way to get that milk, you saw Aunt Suki. You see her most times, but she told you about Uncle Joe being sick. That's important. So we're going to file that under relatives. We're going to file that under Aunt Suki. We're going to file that under Uncle Joe and flu. So anytime any of those things come up in conversation or in your mind, it will trigger this memory. This memory may be in itself a trigger for some other things that will now be brought forth to you in a play. This play will be triggered by an experience that you either had that day, and it is triggering that a prior experience, or it may be triggered by a prior experience that something you went through today fires off in your unconscious mind. You will now build a play around that memory. You might just shoot the same memory forward, but you might not. It may be either magnified or reduced, shrunk, depending on the how important you thought it was and what significance it had for you. All of these things are going to color and dictate what visualizations go through your spirit when these memories are triggered in your subconscious mind. This is called a dream. Now, let's suppose that you had a different experience. Same one, but just a different result. Because when your Aunt Suki told you about her husband, Uncle Joe, having the flu. Suppose Uncle Joe had sexually abused you when you were a child, and you never really got over that. You never really found peace with that. You never really filed that event in your mind. So that event is still in your mind, unfiled and raw. And her speaking about Uncle Joe now triggers that memory in your mind. That trigger will cause all of these events that you have not filed to suddenly come up and cause a certain amount of anxiety, stress, fear, and everything else that is negative in your mind. Your mind does not like these things. These sensations cause it to not function well, and it has long characterized these sensations as things you want to avoid. Your mind has a sure way of avoiding all of these things that have just been brought up, and that is you wake up. Your unconscious mind goes back, and your conscious mind comes online, and you wake up. You don't know why you woke up, because the reason that you woke up is in your unconscious mind. It's not in the mind that you're using now, in your conscious mind.
So you don't understand why you woke up. But
You do not understand why you woke up.
Okay.
It's understand and knowing.
Okay.
Because it's a feeling.
Okay.
You may get up and go pee. You may not. You may just turn over. You may go get some water. You may do a lot of things. But you awoke because your mind could not deal with the memories that you had repressed that were triggered by the experience that you had that day. And what you may experience again as a dream about bad things will cause you to flip your conscious mind back on and your unconscious mind off. Okay. I hope I explained dreams as far as she needed to have them explained.
Tamika, thank you so much for that question. May the Lord
Absolutely.
bless you and the
Tamika,
ancestors
born
protect you, continue to protect you. Yes.
Yeah.
Peace.
Happy with that. Thank you so much, baby. You know. Believe it or not,
Wow.
we got another caller.
We
Another
got
caller.
another caller.
Yes,
We
indeed.
love call. We love.
This is Mr. King. I want to make a call in too.
Okay.
Okay, who's this?
Who this?
King,
King. Where you from, King?
East Cleveland.
All right.
East
now.
Cleveland. All right, King. Got a question for Doc? Please ask Doc.
Yes.
Yeah, what roots or minerals help with the spirit and the consciousness?
Okay, could you repeat that, please, sir?
What roots?
What roots?
Herbal roots help with the consciousness
Okay.
and the spirit.
What herbal roots? Okay. Doc². What do we take every morning? Kuding.
Ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha help. Doc², Kuding,
Kava.
ashwagandha. Now, hold on, my brother. Let me back up a little bit. As I've told almost everybody, though I look like an African-American male, no, I'm strange like that. I grew up in Southeast Asia. So a whole bunch of my cultural and social underpinnings are Oriental. As a result, a whole bunch of the herbs I'm talking about are Oriental. They're Chinese, they're Filipino, they're Indian. Doc² is Chinese. Kuding is Chinese. Ashwagandha is Indian. It's from India.
Kava.
Kava is Caribbean. No, it's Polynesian. Those are some really, really good roots. But in addition to all of those, I would suggest a diet that has low salt and lots of spice.
Lots of what?
Lots of spice. They stimulate all of your secretory cells, and part of your brain functions by a set of secretory cells called glendites. No, not glendites. What are they called? Okay, I can't think of the name right now, but anyway, they're a secretory cell that helps to support and protect your neurons. Galactites, that's what it's called. And or is it? I'm thinking I'm freezing on this name, but everything that causes your oral mucosa to secrete causes them to secrete also. So things like cayenne pepper, black pepper, cinnamon, all of those things, curry, they cause these cells to also function. And that's why things that are spicy, they brighten you up. You are no longer sleepy. You are no longer tired. You are, no, wow, ooh, wee. Yeah.
Your body sweats the waste,
Okay.
emotional waste away as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, nice. Okay, thank you so much.
You're so very
So
welcome,
much
my brother.
welcome. May the
Thank
Lord
you for the
bless you.
question.
And the ancestors protect you, dear brother. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Hey, we got another caller.
Okay, we can do another caller.
Calls in. We really appreciate calls. Give us your name and tell us where you're from, and then give us your question.
Yeah, my name is Tom from sunny Cleveland.
our friend Tom.
Tom, I recognize your voice. This is Tom Tatowski, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's my grandmother's. It came from Russia. It used to be Smith, but we changed it to make it easy to remember.
Used to be Smith. I can understand that, Tom. Yeah, that's much, yeah. Especially now with the Ukrainian stuff going on. But
Well, since you were talking about diet, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Can you comment on the law of nature where the things on the planet that live the longest are eating from the bottom of the food chain?
yes, sir. I most definitely and sure can do that. Let me start that answer off like this. If you go back into the Jewish Christian compendium, you can go Talmud, you can go Holy Bible or Holy Bible, you can even go into the Quran. They all talk about people who lived 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 years.
Yep.
These people
was
that
that?
lived that long had a difference from today's people in two major aspects. The main one is their diet. Believe it or not, people back then ate once a day. They did not eat 3 meals a day. That's kind of stupid. They were called hunter-gatherers because in the morning when they woke up, the hunters went out to hunt and the gatherers went out to gather. Mm-hmm. After a day's work, they met back again and each contributed their bit to the food that they were going to eat that night. Mm-hmm. That's why it was usually a pot. It was usually put together and boiled, and it was usually consumed by everybody in the family / group / village. They ate a different diet than we do now, but they ate that diet only once a day, leaving human beings totally and completely and getting into things like what I believe are the highest order of species on this planet. These are sea mammals: whales, dolphins, porpoises, people like that. We don't know how long they live. We don't. But we have seen whales that have harpoons in them from 150 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they were just killed in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So they were big enough to be harpooned 150 years ago. They've been at least here on this planet about 175 to 200 years.
So if they're eating the marine,
I'm sorry, say
so
that
they're
again,
eating
Tom.
the marine. I said if they're eating the marine plankton, which is basically the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my point. That's what they are consuming. They are consuming the smallest, lowest thing on the food chain.
Right, and also the thing, the plankton that converts photosynthesis, sunlight to energy quicker than any other organism. Is that correct?
Yes, you are absolutely correct, Tom. The plankton were the progenitors of every other green thing on this planet. Before there was a plant, before there was a moss, before there was a lichen, there were these plankton that did photosynthesis like nothing else. Again,
So can you speak about the different blue zones in the world where people live disease free, 130, 140, 150, and also the water they drink, which I understand is charged coming down from the mountains. Can you comment on that?
I can comment on them briefly. Not only is what you saying absolute and correct, the longest lived human beings have at least one of these factors for the vast majority of their existence. Higher elevations seem to add age, and that higher elevation is associated with decreased oxygen content in the air they breathe, as well as water that is closer to its cloud source and somewhat more positively and negatively charged than water that is stored in either a river or a lake, a sediment or stagnant piece of water. They seem to have more acceleratory effect on the cells that consume them. They hype them up.
Okay.
And they also seem to protect them from decaying and aging rapidly.
Yeah. And if you could make one last comment, Dr. Hills, Christopher Hills, we met years ago, who pioneered the research of algae and spirulina, felt that the spirulina of how it was shaped and formed also changed the consciousness of the person eating it. He found one of the few foods that you could live on it. It was a little low on the bees, but one of the few foods that you can live on that only. Can you give a comment on the foods and your conscious level?
You want to say?
Two things. I will make a personal comment on it, though I have much less information and familiarity with the spirulina research. Your consciousness is not only changed by the food you eat, it is to a large degree dictated by the food you eat. And this has been long established. Some foods make you more aggressive. Meat eaters are usually more aggressive, more violent, more confrontational and obstructive than those who don't eat meat. But
is that why the people that go to the Chick-fil-A drive-through are walking kind of funny?
I don't know. I don't know, but it could be. It could be a factor.
Tom, thank you so much for your question. We really appreciate not only your question but you too.
Yeah, thank you, and great show, and bringing a conscious education to helping one's betterment. So good job, everybody.
Thank you
so
much,
much, Tom. Thank you so much.
May the Lord bless you and the ancestors protect you.
Hey, Doc, I just want to shout out to a few other people that's chiming in.
Yes, please.
I want to shout out to Charlie Heyman and Jada.
Hey, Charlie.
Jada.
Amen.
Jada, forgot her last name. I want to say Jada Smith, but it's not.
It ain't Jada.
Okay,
Smith.
Jada.
Jada. It's Jada.
No, that's different.
Well, anyways, greetings, Jada.
Jada.
And welcome to our show.
And I did want you to comment briefly. We got one more. These people right here asked a few questions.
You feel
here you go.
Dreams are realer than we think.
11 Nivelle.
Yes, I want to make a statement about that. Do you feel dreams are realer than we think? Now, believe it or not, earlier today, my wife and I are having a conversation about dreams.
There's a little more to that, Doc.
Believe me, this is going to cover all of that.
Okay.
We're having a conversation about dreams, and I relate to my wife that dreams have always been for me, since I was a child, another reality. It wasn't any different than the reality I was in when I was awake. It was just different. I would go to sleep every night to get into my dream world so that I could be me in my dream world, just like I was me in my conscious world.
Like pulling the cover over you to make you
Yes.
feel comfortable.
Yes, but me in my dream world was as real as me in this world here. And I thought everybody lived that way. I thought every human being, when they went to sleep at night, lived consciously in their dreams. The subconscious mind, as everybody who has done any research understands, is so much larger, so much more powerful, and so much more involved in our living than our conscious mind, which is only a small portion of our mind. When you dream, that small portion goes away, and the larger portion of your mind, your subconscious mind, takes over. I can understand the lack of resonance with most people's dream because they have not been taught what it is, why it is, or how it is. I only understand that after 70 some odd years of living and about 60 some odd years of learning. Most people never get that advantage, so they are never allowed to understand the largest portion of their consciousness, their mind, the unconscious mind, that they can experience every time they go to sleep through their dreams. Okay. And Evelyn says, my dreams are much realer than my conscious. Yeah, they are. That's your subconscious. She says, thanks, Tom, LOL. Exactly. The subconscious doesn't even speak English. It makes up all things. Yes, it does. The subconscious mind doesn't need a language. The subconscious mind speaks in images. That's the way the spirit communicates.
Yes.
Through images. Wow.
Thank you,
deep.
Evelyn.
That was deep. Let me finish this thing on faith, and then we'll get back to it, see if we get another call. I was telling you about the spirit, the portion of humanity that allows you to transcend your environment connection. Your spirit is connected outwardly to the mind, and your spirit is connected inwardly to your higher power, which allows forces and principles of your higher power to be manifested in this world. Specific functioning of your spirit, and this is just a partial listing. Your spirit directs, your spirit innervates, your spirit enlivens, your spirit enables, your spirit energizes, your spirit inspires, your spirit transforms, your spirit protects, your spirit heals, your spirit strengthens, it sustains, it imagines, it enlightens, it pictures, it suggests. Your spirit recognizes, it convicts, it initiates, your spirit awakens, your spirit enthuses, creates, your spirit believes, and your spirit acts as a template for the will. More about this later. But as a brief explanation of the above chart, note that the body has the most limited listing of functions. Your body's only function is it allows you to interact with the world. It allows your mind and spirit to interact with the world. That's it.
Though it does many things, its main purpose is to act as an interface for the mind and spirit with this world. The mind compares and computes, as well as placing emotional values on the experiences of this world. The spirit provides psychic energy for the operation of the mind and body. It also does two things that mark individuals as members of the human race. It presents images to the mind for thought and acts as a template for the will. Everything that human beings have ever created has come through your spirit, has come from your spirit. Your spirit has always come up with an image, a picture. And that picture can be something that is in this reality. That picture can be something that has never existed on earth ever before. But that picture is sent to your mind. And your mind computes and thinks and compares and does all the things that I've already listed that your mind does, and computes ways to bring that image, that picture, into this reality. Everything that human beings have ever made, from the first stone tools to computers, has come into this reality through that mechanism. Your spirit has an image. It sends that image to your mind. Your mind thinks about it, computes, compares, and does all that stuff. And then your mind tells your body how to create that image here in this reality. All things that humans now employ in life, from the first stone tool through bows and arrows to the internet, all started out as ideas, images. The mind uses this power of reasoning, comparing, or whatever faculty it needs to bring that idea into reality. None of the things we have created existed in this world before they were invented. So the mind could not use memory, duplication, or any of its other functions to create the image and the ideas that it invents. Images and imaginings are powers of the spirit. Now, Doc has two questions for everybody listening out there. Why have you not been taught this simple functional schema? Why have you not been taught how you operate as a human being? Now, I thought that somebody would teach me this all my life. I thought somebody would teach me this when I went to elementary school. And then when they didn't, I figured, well, it's something they'll teach me in high school. And they didn't, and I figured, well, maybe I need to go to college to learn this. No, not college, not professional school, not nursing or medicine, not healthcare administration. Very briefly, they mentioned it in metaphysics, and not at all in spirituality. I have degrees in all of those subjects, and none of them approached what I just explained to you. Why have you not been taught how you work? The other question is, who needs you ignorant of how you operate? Who? What beings need you ignorant of how you operate? Because that's who's responsible for you not knowing, not understanding, not being given some understanding, not just of what you are, but how you are. Okay, she says she's going to teach her chop. 11 says, I'm going to teach my child via homeschool. And then she says, they don't want you to know your true power, because if you
did, you wouldn't be a slave to bills, to the American dream, etc. The parasites want to control your dream. LOL. Yeah, but no, they don't want to control your dream. They want to control your images. They want to control the pictures that your spirit use.
Imagine the Matrix, and you know the movie The Matrix.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you are right to the greatest degree. That's why they took this Christian Judeo thing called the Bible and lied about everything in it. Nobody in that Bible except the men who killed Yeshua ben Yosef, because his name was not Jesus. They didn't have a J in their alphabet back when he was born. His name would have been Yeshua ben Yosef. Mm-hmm. There was nobody in that book who was European, except the Romans who killed him. They talked about a few Greek traders and travelers, but they didn't really bring one out. But everybody else in that book was Alkebulanese. But no, Europe had to paint them as Europeans. Europe had to show them in movies as Europeans. Europeans, they were definitely not. Why did they need to do that? So that they would control the images in your spirit as to what is superior, what is supreme, what is God-like, what is spiritual. That lie is the basis for most white superiority. There's a TED Talk called The Lie That Started Racism. We are just about finished. We ain't got no more questions.
And it's that time, y'all.
It is that time, y'all.
It's time for us to share.
You gonna do the other song?
Yes, let's do the other song.
We got one more song. That's right.
Hold on. No. That's exactly where we at. Because everything that you just been listening to, it might have came out of Doc's mouth. But that wasn't Doc talking. That was what God gave me to give you.
Yes.
And every time you hear me, it ain't me. It ain't me telling you any of these things. When I'm asking you to do you, to learn you, to know you, that's the Lord calling. And Global Entertainment, McKinley Tate III, who's also our engineer, and OG Shankster, along with OG's brother.
Yes. You want to peace out now? So after the song,
yes, ma'am.
Just fade on out.
We're gonna do it now.
All right.
Lord bless you, and the ancestors continue to protect you. And we end always with
peace.
Peace, which stands for
proper education always corrects error.
Listen to this last thing, y'all.
Peace,
the
y'all.
Lord
Love.
is calling.
And the people cried out by reason of their affliction. And the Lord God said, I will send a messenger with my word of truth and life. Let he that hath an ear, let him listen.
Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know Babylon is falling? You can run now, but you can't hide. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your hands up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Death lies and dirt roads and back streets. Blood stains from lost souls in hot heat. River flows from mom tears, she's been torn. Breastfed all of her kids to the firstborn. 7 seas rooted the trees to my church. And strong winds carried the breeze to my birth. And Lord knows it's been hard, I can't see. Had to maintain and work hard on these streets. I heard the streets calling, so I had to lend a hand to the one one that's fallen. Let them know I understand that the Lord is calling. So just keep your faith, you're still in the race. The main thing, you're still in this grace, so let's pray. Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know Babylon is falling? You can run now, but you can't hide. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your hands up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling?
Years of dirt and years I hurt, it's a crying shame. Living that life of sin, then slander my name in the eyes of the Lord, who showed me love, who helped me survive in this world, and blessed me with my first son. Somehow I took the wrong path, allied with Satan, and now I have no idea of what I'll be facing when it's time to re-up for what I did. Been doing the devil's bidding since I was a kid, and now I'm looking for a way out, because I'm finally realizing that killing my kind is paid out. You had me hyped, you had me schooled, you had me thinking I was on top of the world, when really I was just that fool. You had me turn my back on my master. You promised me everlasting, and for that you's a dirty bastard. The longer can you fill my mind with lies and deceit? Cause right now I'm at peace, it's time to release my soul.
Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know Babylon is falling? You can run now, but you can't hide. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your hands up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Just take a look around on these ghetto streets. Prepare your soul, cause the beast already been released. In full control, let me feast on our ghetto beeps. The young and old, death is dead on the land we sleep. The world is cold, I hit my knees and begin to pray. And please, Lord, give me the strength to make it through the day. And have mercy on me, help me see the light. So I can one day too dwell in eternal life. And hold my hand, oh Lord, lead me through the storm. Cause hell been on my trail since my life was born. And we've been cursed since birth, back when you lost your son. And against all odds, let your will be done. Cause I believe in you. Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know Babylon is falling? You can run now, but you can't hide. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your hands up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is gonna follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me?
Peace.
Peace, player.
Okay, we all.
Differently, I'm dressed as Baba Anwar. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High.
For having us on your
Rewind it, rewind it.
Oh, you made it to the end of the video. Well, I am tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Anwar. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind.
Thanks
for having us on your minds.
Peace.